It's hard to believe, but Maverick at Cedar Point had its opening season 16 years ago. That means Maverick is finally old enough to drive, so watch out. But yeah, this roller coaster unleashed a new bevy of coaster styles and was influential drive behind many roller coasters to come. One of those influences would be Cheetah Hunt, located at Busch Gardens Tampa. Opening just 4 years later, the anticipation for another multi-launching roller coaster by Intamin couldn't be higher. Well, it's been operating for 12 years, and opinions on both of these roller coasters have made their impact in the coaster community. Some coaster nerds will consider Cheetah Hunt to be the quote-unquote family coaster, while Maverick is the out-of-control thrill machine that's so much better. Well, in this video, I thought it would be fun to compare these two roller coasters and find out if Maverick is truly the better coaster, or can Cheetah Hunt overcome its family coaster stigma. Before we get into this duel, do me a favor by clicking on that like button, and if you love roller coaster content like today's video, please make sure you are subscribed. As always, let's start out with the stats. Surprisingly, the stats are very similar. I included a lot more categories than I normally would because how close they are in comparison. Maverick is 105 feet, while Cheetah Hunt is only 3 feet shorter. Maverick has 4,450 feet of track, while Cheetah Hunt has 4,429 feet of track, making it 21 feet shorter, which is kind of surprising, I know. Maverick has 2 inversions, Cheetah Hunt has 1. The only categories that Cheetah Hunt beats out Maverick is launches with 3 and a taller drop at 130 feet. Cheetah Hunt dives into a ravine after that wind catcher tower. Since each stat is worth a half point, Maverick will walk away with a total of 2 points, while Cheetah Hunt scores 1 point. Presentation and theming. For its time, Maverick had amongst the best theming at a Cedar Fair park. This amusement park chain isn't known for their theming and whatnot, but they did go the extra mile with Maverick. The theming isn't extreme, but it's enough to make this one of the better looking roller coasters at Cedar Point, and it boosts the overall ride experience. The rock work, tunnel, fountains, and body of water really come together and fits well with this attraction. I also love the station queue. It's repurposed log flume station. It's nice when a park can reuse structures from a past attraction in classy ways. Cheetah Hunt, on the other hand, well, it's kind of the full package. The theming on this roller coaster is top-notch, or, well, shall I say presentation. The way this coaster is incorporated into the park is so good. The roller coaster interacts with the train, sky ride, and safari. It dives into ravines, wraps around animal exhibits, weaves through rock work. The foliage has grown in nicely and it makes Cheetah Hunt look like it's been there for decades, which, well, I guess it kinda almost has. But anyways, between these two roller coasters, I know it's close, but I think Cheetah Hunt earns this point. Terrain design and restraints. Both roller coasters have well-themed trains. Cheetah Hunt is of course designed to look like a cheetah, and I think the park did a good job. Maverick, the design is a little bit more practical and clean. I love how each of the 6 trains has its own name. The restraints is where this comparison starts to shift in favor of Maverick. Cheetah Hunt has the tough, hard over-the-shoulder strap thingies, while Maverick received the updated soft straps. They're both annoying, but I would argue that Maverick is more comfortable. Bottom line, I think Cheetah Hunt has the better looking trains, but Maverick has the better restraints, making this category a tie. The launch. This was by far the toughest category for me to compare. On one side, Cheetah Hunt has more launches with 3. I would argue that each launch has a nice little kick, though the second launch being the standout moment. Maverick has a total of 2 launches, with the first one being a glorified lift hill. However, that second launch out of the tunnel is better than any launch found on Cheetah Hunt. In the end, I decided to make this one a tie. I love all 3 launches on Cheetah Hunt, and having that bonus launch near the final third of the ride is a nice pickup moment. As versus Maverick, it's really all about that second launch, which is fine because it's so good. I know some of you are probably going to be upset with this, but yeah, I think a tie is pretty reasonable for this category. The first drop. Cheetah Hunt features the largest drop with that 130-foot dive into the ravine. If you are riding in the back row, you will get a nice pop of airtime. With that said, Maverick is clearly the winner. Its drop is shorter at 100 feet, but that beyond vertical dive, you are whipped over that hill. Doesn't matter where you are seated, you are getting ejected. The element then pulls out sharply into that low to the ground turn, instantly switching from negative to positive Gs. Ride intensity. This is the category that everyone uses to argue that Maverick is the superior coaster. It is for sure the more intense attraction. The G-forces are more powerful. I have a higher chance of graying out on Maverick than I ever do on Cheetah Hunt. Not to say that this is the be-all end-all to this Duel, but it's an important factor. Maverick is just more snappy, aggressive in nature. Cheetah Hunt has its moments, but that coaster is more about the experience or journey. The most intense moments on Cheetah Hunt are probably the launches. As for Maverick, it has more variety in the category, making it the winner. Airtime. Both roller coasters don't offer a ton of airtime, but they do have some notable moments. Cheetah Hunt has that pop going into the Windcatcher Tower, the drop down, and the airtime hill after the third launch. Depending on where you are seated, some might categorize these airtime moments as ejector if we're being technical, but I wouldn't call them intense moments. Maverick has about the same amount of airtime moments. You have the first drop, airtime hill, and that speed hill. Because of its aggressive nature, Maverick feels like it has more airtime moments, but for the sake of this video, these are the 3 moments of true airtime. Every airtime moment on Maverick is better than what you would get on Cheetah Hunt. This point clearly belongs to Maverick. Pacing. Both roller coasters have their lull moments when it comes to pacing, but I think we all know that Maverick wins this category. Once you crest that first drop, Maverick only lets up prior to the second launch, and then it's pedal to the metal all the way back to the station. Cheetah Hunt, for the most part, keeps its speed, but with that slow Windcatcher Tower and the mid-course brake run after the 0G roll, Cheetah Hunt feels a little bit more subdued. Maverick gets this point. Inversions. Maverick has 2 inversions, while Cheetah Hunt has 1. If we approach this in terms of elements, both inversions on Maverick are considered to be one element, which is a horseshoe roll. It's basically 2 tight corkscrews in a row. Cheetah Hunt has a slower paced 0G roll that creates some fun hang time. It is one of the highlight moments on Cheetah Hunt, as the horseshoe roll on Maverick feels more like a filler moment, though I'm probably underselling it a bit. All in all, I'd rather experience Cheetah Hunt's inversion than the 2 on Maverick, which is why Cheetah Hunt gets this point. Okay, the final tally comes to Cheetah Hunt with 5 points and Maverick with 8, making Maverick the winner in today's duel. I think Maverick winning wasn't a surprise, but I hope this duel highlighted the areas that Cheetah Hunt excels at. As I always say, these types of battles come down to your preference. If you enjoy a more fast-paced, aggressive type roller coaster, then Maverick is going to be your pick. Those who enjoy a more rounded experience with a better presentation might sway in the direction of Cheetah Hunt. I hope you enjoyed this duel. Let me know down in the comments which 2 roller coasters you would like to see pitted against each other. Until next time, this is Extreme Thrills.